Sid, in a couple minutes, you got to be quiet so I can do my my thing, okay? Sarah, I'm trying to figure out how you do this because I can't remember. When you come back on, Sarah, let me try to figure this out. Help. What, honey? Okay, well, I cannot help you right now. I've got to do a training. So you can either knock on your sister's bedroom door and see if she can help you, or you have to wait till I'm done. You must be doing something wrong. So if you didn't read the directions, it's not going to work right. Uh-huh. I know how you read directions. Okay. I know there's 9 viewers right now. So here's my question, 9 viewers. Does anybody do Google Hangout? Because Sarah Rankin and I are trying to figure out how the heck she gets on here too. I've done this before and I don't know why I'm dumb right now and can't figure it out. So if anybody knows how to do that, put a little message in the side where it says enter chat message here. Oh. Yeah, I know, but how the heck do I get Sarah on here? It's a good thing we came on early so we can figure this out.
You know why? Just because they can't be cut too small. They have to be like actually.
Okay, we'll read all of the directions, and then it also says you have to keep them out of the freezer till they soften a tiny bit. It can't be completely frozen. All right, and my thing's gonna start, so I need you to go do what you gotta do.
I've already did it. It says that it can't be that small.
Okay, there's got to be a way, Sarah, for you to call me, and then I add you in. Here, I'm gonna send you another invite. Sandy Dury does these all the time. Maybe she can help us. Okay, I just posted an invitation for you, Sarah. I'm pretty sure all you have to do is accept it. Everybody hang tight. We're just trying to figure this out. Crap. I don't know. I'm going to write on Facebook. Does anybody know how to do Google? I've done these trainings lots of times before. Lots and lots. And the person just, like, they just show up. So, ooh. I see a little camera down here, Sarah. It just popped up. There's a little camera right here. I Yes. See, Sarah, you should be able to just call in. It's so weird. Everybody's sorry. We're trying to figure this out, so hang tight. Okay. Sarah, you can see me. Perfect. All right. So when I send you an invite like I just did, you should accept. And then when you accept, you should see a thing that says join. I'm trying to think of, I've done like 10 of these, but I haven't done it in like 6 months, and I cannot remember how a person joins. I think it's on their end, it's not on mine, where you should be able to see something and then just, I can see where your camera's supposed to pop up right down here in this corner, and then I can pull you up when you're talking, but this is weird and I don't know what to do. Say what again? Okay, so on your end, Sarah, there should be something up top. Okay, up top of your thing, you should see a little person, a mic, a thingy. Yeah, it's going to come through YouTube and Google. So you should see a camera right at the top of your Google Hangout. There's a little person, there's a microphone, there's a camera, and then there's the volume or adjust bandwidth, and then settings, and then a little red phone. No mic of thingy. What's no mic of thingy? I can see you. Say that again. You're coming through YouTube. No mic of thingy. What's no mic of thingy? See, right when you go on to Google Plus, and you click on it, a screen's going to pop up where you're watching me, but on your end, not through YouTube, but Google, the Google link. Up top, you should see where you have a camera. If you click on it, you'll join me. Mm. Mm. Hello. Right? Hey. Yes. Okay. And you came through Google. Where are you doing it from? Your computer? Okay. Google. Okay. See, you should have, I don't know. Okay, try that. Okay. We'll figure it out. I know. You know who does these? Sandy, all the time. Maybe she could walk us through it, but I'm pretty sure it's something on your end. You should see a little. Okay. Something I think is happening. Join. There you are. Yay!
Yay! Okay, we did it.
Bye.
Bye.
See, I told you guys we figured it out.
Yay! All right.
Okay, I'm going to make it so that it stops doing this. So when I'm talking, I'll pop up on the big screen to everybody, and when you talk, you'll pop up.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so I don't know if it's because we did this early, but this is out to like 150 people. So, 8 viewers. Oh, actually, I think it only shows me the viewers on Google. It doesn't show me the one on YouTube. So there's probably a lot of YouTube viewers. Okay. So who we're on with tonight, Sarah, is winners of our blitzing challenge. And we've got 12 teams in the Destination to Diamond thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we let the top 3 teams get this little thing with us, but then we're just going to put it out there for everybody to watch. So
Cool.
yeah.
Your group's still going well?
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. People are awesome. So I didn't get any questions because I've been so busy.
It's been crazy.
It has. Like, I feel like I'm going absolutely out of my mind, insane right now. But how about this? How about if you share? I don't even know if everybody knows, like, on even on here, your story. There's a lot of new people. I don't even know if they realize you're our upline. So how about start off with a little bit about how we got into this, and then I'll go on Facebook and ask anybody if they have any questions and see if they can give me some now.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Like right now, like we're just going right now.
You look so cute and I don't. Whatever.
Wait, I have to show you though, because I have Star Wars pants on.
Love, because it only, you know what? It only matters what you look like from about the boobs up when you do these. So I usually have like no clothes on down there.
It's a party up top, but it is
It's my shirt.
cute. Yeah, so cute.
Make it happen today, girl.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go get a water and go ahead, share your story with everybody and kind of how you got me in and how we just like went crazy and now here we are 6 years later.
Holy crap, that makes me feel so old. Well, hey guys, Sarah Rankin here. And like Lisa said, it's been 6 years. It's crazy. A lot of times people actually think that I signed under Lisa, but I got the golden ticket. And I signed first. I was a personal trainer at the time. I was running a ladies only gym, and this woman walked in and handed me a Blitz card. And she said, "You've got to try this crazy wrap thing. It tightens, tones, and firms in 45 minutes. You have to try it." And it didn't sit well with me. I thought, scam, it doesn't work. There's no way, right off the bat. And I think probably 2 weeks went by and I finally called her and I was like, okay, I need to know if this works, because I just kept thinking, like, what if it really did work? So I ended up having to sign up to be a distributor because she didn't have any wraps on hand. Bad wrap girl move, but I did. And when I first tried my wrap, I guess that's where everything changed. You know, it worked, not just on me, but on Josh also. And I just kept thinking, like, why hasn't Oprah talked about this? Why hasn't Dr. Oz said something? Like, you look at the cover of every magazine, Shape, Cosmopolitan, Women's Health. There's no cure for cellulite. There's no cure for stretch marks. You can't cut corners and achieve your results faster. It's work out harder, eat less sugar, drink less salt, more water, more crunches. But at the end of the day, there's nothing that can be done for that skin. And once I tried the wrap, I knew we had it. This was it. This is the golden ticket. And so I thought everything was going to be gravy from there on out, because here, personal trainer. Before that, I had worked, in the newspapers and in the radio stations. I had been at car dealerships. I'd been all over the place. I was good at networking. So I thought, I've got a network. This will be easy, because once I tell them that it works, everybody's going to believe me, and then they're going to sign up. And I remember making my first Facebook post, and it was just crickets, like nothing. There was nothing happening. And then I called all my friends, and I started telling them, and I'm like, I'm going to get so rich, and you need to do this with me. Like, we're going to have so much fun, and it'll be epic. And none of them were interested. So I guess I did what I knew best at that point. I just had to go out and start talking to people. And I went to this place called Jed's. It's a little wings place out in T-Town in Toledo. And you guys were there. And I know I was there for a long time. It was a long time, because I was like, I am not leaving. I had worked at Jed's for a few weeks before. So it was an easy place to go. It's like a little wings place. Well, the girls looked at me like I had lost my marbles. And so I just decided, you know what, I'm going to hang out, kept having a couple of beers, follow them. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I just feel like a dork because your background's all pretty. So I'm going to stand here.
Hey, it's my new pimp office.
I guess I do. Oh, we want to see your office. Can we see real quick?
Yes, you can. Hold on, wait. Let me tell what was I saying?
Okay, finish telling your story. Go ahead.
You saw the shiny. See, I knew that the shiny behind us would be distraction.
It is.
Anyways, that's where the story. The girls are there. They had to go serve wings at some church festival or whatnot. And I was just like, well, I don't have anything to do. I'll go with you. And one of them ended up trying it. Lisa happened to be in the crew, the same little crew of people working. She was pulling like double shifts at the time, triple shifts at the time, trying to pay the bills, and got a phone call. Here we go. One of the Jed's girls signed up, Alicia, and then you. And so it was 1, 2, 3. Then there were 3. And we were just like, we had no idea what we were doing. We just honestly went out there and told people about this wrap and asked if they wanted to join us. There was no science behind it. There was nothing magical that we did. We were just excited and we hit the streets. I mean, I guess we were all in the service industry, so we're used to just being like, hey, do you want this? Do you want some more? Do you want extra? Do you need any ranch? You know? Yeah. That's where we're at. And now here we are, freaking going into our 6th year, and it's just, this year is different.
I think so too. It
There's-
feels so different.
The ground out here, I'm 15 minutes from corporate. The ground out here is literally like shaking. It's being around Pam on Tuesday, just seeing the look in her eye, and you know that, like, that look. She's just like, I know something you don't know.
Hints for us, because I know you're making me jealous because you're like right there and you get to be kind of in on the.
That was my main reason, honestly, for really wanting to be here. I mean, it doesn't hurt that it's beautiful and the beaches and whatnot. I feel good next to the water because it's the one thing in my life that I can always go to that reminds me, like, hey, you're just one. You can't save the world by yourself, but you can make a difference right here, you know, in your bubble. And so it levels me out. So that was a good reason. But then just to be close to the people who have inspired me to believe, you know, maybe some of that will rub off and I can get secrets and magic juju and, you know, go Black Diamond this year.
Yeah, and then
At
you have to rub up on me.
Yeah, at least my goal, Lisa, is to hit that 100,000. Actually, I said I was going to triple my paycheck, so that would be 102,000 by the end of the year. I want to hit that by the end of the year, and then next year make the 6 months salary.
Well, it's really possible.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that happen. I went into the beginning of a March. My February paycheck was like $12,000. And at the end of March, when I got my March pay in April, my paycheck was $42,000.
See, I haven't even hit that number yet.
That's the highest I've ever gotten, was
No,
40,000.
we hit 39 last year. Combined.
I hit 42 on my own paycheck one time. Ever since then, I've tasted that 42 and I want it back.
Okay, so you're working on 2.0 right now too, right?
Yeah.
Remind me after we're not live, I have to talk to you.
Okay, good.
I forgot. I have to tell you.
Okay, well, let's hurry up and go offline and then we'll come back.
I mean, don't get too excited. It just reconfirms for us, like, yes, run right now like crazy with 2.0.
Okay, good. So let me see if anybody's posted any questions, but I actually do have a question for you while we're seeing if anybody does. You know, I wonder, it seems like I'm trying to get it through everybody's head how consistent you had to be, how I had to be to get to where we are. We had to be really consistent for a really long time. Like we couldn't take a break. Like there was no days off. And of course we all hit those times in life where you couldn't work that day because it's an emergency or something. But for the most part, we really were consistent daily with our business. And I feel like that's the most important part. It's when you don't do anything for a week. You could do something for 6 hours in a day. 6 hours out of work my business, you're all in. And then for 4 days in a row, you do nothing. I feel like it cancels it out. And I also feel like it's why people take so long to get some places because there's no consistency. It's not about the amount of time. It's about the intentional time, because I think you would probably agree. I probably maybe on a busy day put 3 hours into my business, but it's intentional. It's very purposeful. It's not that it needs to be 8 hours a day, full-time job. It just needs to be intentional time on a consistent basis. Talk a little bit about maybe for the first couple years, what were you doing? Like how did you get consistent? I didn't write anything down. For me, it was just get up every day and go out there and do it, however way I could.
I think too, you and I had two very unique perspectives. Like we looked at this from, I have to make this work. There's no, I have to do this. This is my way out. Like I could get my head above water. I could change my family's life. We knew right away we had our hands on something special. And so it was easy to wake up and go to work. It was exciting to wake up and go to work, to send these messages. And I think what's most important now is recognizing that while you're doing this, while you're being intentional about your business, while you're taking the daily necessary actions that need to happen to run a successful network marketing business, you need to be having fun and you need to be doing things that you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be you're holed up in a little room in your house sending 200 messages a day. It doesn't have to be that, but you do need to be getting out there. You need to be in front of people. You need people to think when they need money, they want better health, when somebody loses their job, when they see somebody else wearing an It Works shirt, you want them to think of you. And that's where that consistency comes in. We both made It Works part of our brand. Like, we weren't out there being like, buy the ThermoFit. ThermoFit does this, 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 this. Buy the Greens. Greens does this, this, this. That's corporate's job. That's what they do. We talk to our friends. We build relationships. We started an empire around telling people what we had, and at the same time, what we were learning and what we were out having fun doing. And all of those things grow your business. I think you have to be intentional about having fun. You have to be intentional about keeping it simple, because we all try to complicate this. I've been guilty for years in a row trying to complicate it. Right. And, Lisa and I go above and beyond and Jody out there in Ohio this weekend, go above and beyond by doing these trainings, putting a lot of time into team events and things like that. Those aren't things that you have to do to run a successful business. We choose to do that to create the community, to inspire you guys to really just go to work. We take care of the mother hen part. We're intentional about wanting to have a team unit. And I don't know, I'm rambling now, but
no, it's just everything you're saying. I mean,
I don't want to talk too much about how we made it happen. I'll tell you how we made it happen. I never stopped.
Right.
I had no choice. I needed it for my family. I needed it for myself. I was willing to stay up late and wake up early. I was willing to send those messages out because I wanted this as bad as I could breathe.
Right.
It kept me up at night. If I couldn't figure out how to finish those steps to success, it kept me up at night. I had to learn how. I had to figure it out. I had to keep Googling until I found somebody who set off a trigger in my head that was like, aha, the next idea. And now, like, my cup runneth over with ideas. That's part of my problem. I'm like, I should do this and I should do that, and it's going to be amazing. And so now I have to be intentional about making sure I do what pays the bills, making sure I do what keeps my business moving, while now having the luxury of being able to start playing with those ideas. And
I just think the easy part was the beginning, because you don't have to think. Be excited, go out there, talk to everybody, put them in the computer. Mm-hmm. Like, now where we're at is the hard part, because you're trying to, okay, I've got to be here, I've got to be there, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. Where should I be working? How's my paycheck going to go up? I mean, you get to the ambassador level and it's kind of like, what now?
There's no map from here.
There's no clear cut map from here. And it's like, that to me was easy. The beginning was easy because it was just sign. Talk. Get through no's to find a yes. And it was just really that, I don't know, I think it was that easy. I actually have a question from Shannon Lindsay Lene. She said, what was the biggest factor in your decision to move to Florida? Which you kind of answered that. Being close to corporate and feeding yourself.
Being close to people who, I mean, we've got like, it's not ideal. There are like 5 or 6 of ambassadors all out here, and all of us are transplants. Like, we all moved from someplace else. And I always talk about how much you have to love what you do in your company to like want to be closer to it, So we were coming down here like 6-7 times a year. And so it was part of that where we just never wanted to go home. I mean, we moved from Toledo, Ohio. Lisa, hello. Like, I was over it.
Out of here.
It's really important to me. If you are the 5 people that you surround yourself the most with, I took a giant look in the mirror last year and said, okay, I love my friends. I love my team. I am not saying anything like that. But I felt like I was kind of always at the front of the circle, like, let's dream bigger. Let's move farther. Let's do this. Let's go. Like, am an encourager. That's what I love to do. And I needed that for me. I needed somebody to be able to say, let's go look at $5 million mansions. Like, put on your fancy shoes. Let's go. Let's go. You know, and like driving around with Stacy out here and driving over to Carla Burns' house for Kaye Souter's baby shower. I'm like, looking, I'm like, these are like, okay, all right. And they're like, oh no, it's going to get better. I'm like, this is what I need. I needed to be able to envision dreaming bigger. And it was safe and easy to do here because I already had family and friends, you know?
You know, and I also think that, I mean, it's kind of being around corporate, feeding yourself, all of those things are obviously important. But gosh, I lost my train of thought. It was so good too, but hold on, I'll think of it again. I got a question though. Jennifer, I have a distributor, Jennifer, and she has a question, and I get asked this a lot. Sometimes she feels like she's bugging people. How do you overcome it? How do you overcome the thing? Am I bugging this person? Am I freaking just at the point where I need to stop contacting them? When does it end?
Okay. Well, if you have little ears around, because what naturally comes to me, what I want to say, it needs earmuffs, and it's my mantra for the year, and that's 0 F's given. 0 F's given. Seriously. Like, who cares? Tell them what you have, share it. But at what point do you stop? Like, if you're bugging people, I'm really, I like to go for 3. You know, I don't go too far back in my Facebook messages, to be quite honest with you. Like, there's a couple of times a year, like end of the year when things get slow, after conference to make sure that I followed up or didn't miss anyone from the original time I went through. And then again in the summer when things just, you know, kind of get a little crazy where you're like, all right, am I promoting this fall? I've got to keep going. I have to keep going. And I drudge that list out again. But like, as far as if you messaged me today and said you were interested, and then for the next 2 weeks we talked 4 or 5 times and nothing was happening, it just goes on a warm list. It's something that I go back to with no specific pattern, honestly.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I feel like no one's ever going off of my list. I mean, they're never not a, hey, I'm done with you, unless they tell me to F off.
Well, and I'll ask sometimes, like if they're really short with me, I'll say, you know, do you want me to leave you alone and not tell you about any more promotions that come out? Like I'll ask. And it's just getting over that, knowing that they don't care that much that you should be offended. You know what I mean?
I like Cammie's wow factor follow-up. When you've kind of got that person that they come to you. You had it. We've all had it where all of a sudden they'll go, yeah, I want to do this. Then you can't get them on the phone. Then 3 months later, I want to do it. Can't get them on the phone. I like to use the wow factor follow-up where if somebody's ignoring me or they say they want to do it, I'll say, did I do something to offend you? Mm-hmm. It always starts the conversation back up. But if I can't close someone, I simply say, what's holding you back? What's holding you back? And usually they'll let it out. Mm-hmm. Well, it's the money thing. I would do it, but I'm so scared, or time. At least if you know what it is, then you know where to put your focus. You know what I mean? And most people aren't messing with you. If they come to you saying, I want to do this, they do. It's just something pops in their head that they're like, I shouldn't right now. And then it talks it out. You know what I mean? At some point, it'll be their time. So like you, Sarah, I just put them on a list. And after I feel like, okay, I've gotten with you 3 times, it's not happening, I'm going to put you on this list. And the next time there's a promotion, I'll message you. You know, they'll be one of those follow-up things.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too. If it's somebody that you really like and you see a lot of potential in, I'll hit that see first thing on Facebook. So every time they post something, it goes bing to my phone, and I'm literally your new best friend. Like, oh girl, that picture of your puppy is so cute. Oh, I love your outfit today. I'm just your new best friend. I stay in the back of your mind so that when that time comes up again where you feel like I want to change, I'm the first person that you think about. And I think it's just important to not take things seriously, you know, and to have confidence. If somebody throws you an objection, be aggressive. You know, what if they're not willing to overcome that objection, you don't want them on the team anyways. And if you can help them, all you have to do is keep asking questions. If they say it's money, well, are you willing to set up a wrap party? Are you willing to pre-sell your wraps? Are you willing to sell some things out of the garage or out of your closet? Are you willing to learn? And I'll straight up ask people, like, I had a woman message me the other day. She's like, this business probably isn't good for single moms, right? And I was like, well, not with that mindset, it's not. Like, that was the first thing that I could say back, because when I heard it, I was like, oh, gosh, like, I'm going to have to Eeyore, you know?
Right.
And then when she said, well, no, I mean, like, realistically, you would need to have a spouse, like, to watch the kids. And I said, it's a matter of what kind of a living you want and what you're willing to do to get it. I have plenty of moms who bring their kids to the parties, who have built their business through social media. And so I just answered this for her. And her next question, or her next statement was, well, I guess realistically, I just wanted to know how much time was going to have to go into this. And so for me, I'm like, oh, this is one of those prospects where I'm just like, I don't really care if you sign up, because you're already like,
It's
what do you
funny.
mean what's going to go into it? Like, what do you want? $20?
You're just so happy if anybody wants to sign, and you're jumping all over it. But then when you get to our rank, you're kind of like, this is going to be more of a headache probably. This person's never going to do anything. You start like outweighing, do I really want to sign them? But you do get to that point, because I think we start realizing that when you don't sign somebody that wants to do this, you're just going to waste their time and yours. You start to see that you can sign all the people in the world. It's $99. Come on. I mean, we can talk anybody into anything. But do you really want to if they're not going to do anything? Because you're always going to be going back to the drawing board. So you get to a point in your business where you really want to find quality people, you know, like good people. And of course, we're going to sign anybody, whether they want free product
Good
or.
people, yeah. Good people. When you say quality, it's just people who are motivated, who want to do this. Like that we don't have to. I very much in the beginning of my business recruited a lot of broken people, because that's how I was. I was broken. I was lonely. I was hurting. It was new for me to have done something to be proud of. It was just all happening so much faster than I imagined it to, which is such an incredible blessing. But it forced a lot of insecurities out of me right off the bat. And I naturally started attracting these people to me who were in the same mindset, who struggled with the same things. And, it just got to a point where my job's not to be a fixer. My job is to lead a horse to water, not make a horse out of, out of something. But it's just a matter of don't get discouraged. Don't care, I guess, about bugging people. If you feel like you're bugging someone, you're probably being needy. And you're not in it for their benefit.
Right. And needy is not attractive.
Like if I'm inboxing you, it's to help you with something. And I truly feel like I'm offering you something. I don't feel like I'm bugging someone like, hey, put that order in. No, it's, hey, you said last month that your heartburn was really bothering you and you really wanted to get these greens, girlfriend. Come on. I'll hold you back. It's not about my order. It's about her and the heartburn or whatever,
Right. And I think you said something kind of powerful in that, as in what is a good person. I didn't mean because I want people to understand a good person is somebody that says, you know what, I just want free product. And they come every month and they make sure they get free product. A good person is somebody that says, I just want to be a Ruby, and stays a Ruby every month. It's kind of bringing someone in, finding out what they want, because I think sometimes we don't ask what they want. We just assume they want to go all the way to ambassador. And then when we're driving them flipping crazy, they're kind of like, I'm quitting. You're driving me nuts. I just wanted an extra $200 or something.
Yeah, it's so funny because I literally just got a text message from she's brand new, and this will be her first distributor, hopefully. But she said, finally, someone who has been ignoring me has finally come to the light. She wants to know if there's anyone in her area. So keep trying, because sooner or later they're like, duh, I have to answer Lisa. Like,
you know what? And I've heard too many stories on stage and just in my own team alone of people that never followed back up and they went and signed with someone else and ended up being a rock star. I'm not willing to lose that. So I'm going to be the bugger, but not to the point where I look needy. I'm going to keep touching base, you know, and give it a month.
Here's the opposite side of the coin, Lisa. This was a first for me. I had a guest. We met on Facebook. She was really interested, super cool. She came to a one team. I wrapped her. She loved it. Wanted to sign, you know, was like, I think I want to do this, but I think I want to try things. And we kind of had a hard time connecting through the holidays. And then we get through the holidays and I invite her to another one team. And she's like, okay, I'm going to come. But then she's like, I think I want to try some product first. And I said, okay, well, you can go right to the website, you know, my website, and sign up, order your product. They'll ship it right to you. I jumped the gun. I didn't follow up with her initial like gut feeling of wanting to be a distributor. And she wrote me back while I was driving, so I couldn't answer right away, and said, you know what, this just wasn't meant to be. It's clear that my interest hasn't been a priority for you. And like was super offended that like I wasn't better about following up. So you just got to do it, because I feel terrible about that. And I even wrote her and said, please don't let this be the reason. Don't let me and my shortcoming be the reason that you choose not to sign with this business. Like, find somebody that works for you and sign up, because you would be great at it, and let me know, you know, if you change your mind. But it, like, I feel like dog crap after that. I would rather be bugging someone and then be like, dude, Sarah, you're annoying the crap out of me, than to get
that happen. You know what? But I think it just makes us human. And even an ambassador, we drop the ball sometimes. I think everybody thinks we're the best at following up. Sometimes I think we're the worst at it, because we got so much going on. I've lost people before because I didn't get back with them, and I so meant to. And then things happen, and it wasn't quick enough for that particular person. It could have been 2 days later, but they wanted it now, and they didn't wait. They found somebody else in 2 days.
Well, it was a lesson for me on the difference of having good intentions and being intentional. I didn't follow up with her on Follow Up Friday for like 3 weeks in a row. I didn't do it. But I had good intentions that she was going to join my team and that we had a good relationship going. And if she wanted something, she'd just let me know.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's really, it comes back to, again, being intentional about making sure that you make that follow-up a priority, and or that first contact a priority.
Right. You know, there's a lot of new people in this Destination to Diamond group, and I kind of spin my wheels going back and forth on social media blitzing. And what I really found on my team personally is I feel like in 2015, it wasn't the best year for my team. And I also feel like it might have been because everybody got away from doing launch parties. I have not seen a launch party done, not a picture of one, nothing. And I think with It Works really putting focus on John Eric, and I love him, and social media, everybody started going and hearing about all these people on stage doing it from not even leaving their home ever. They're all sitting in front of the computer trying to figure this out. So I want to know what your take is on this, because I feel like you have to have a balance of everything to be really good at this business. You can't just sit in front of the computer. Eventually that will get you. These people doing it in front of the computer, I believe that you have to get out there and do the other thing too. Eventually you're going to hit dry spots. Mm-hmm. That's going to happen.
See, I guess I think of it in a way with everything that's thrown at us, with all the different ideas. I love it because that's exactly what it is. It's ideas. You know, social media works. The reason that they rolled out with John Eric is because a lot of you guys out there are doing it wrong, and you're doing it terribly. Like, either you're a walking advertisement that just makes us all look tacky, or you're airing your dirty laundry and it's just embarrassing. I'm not saying like don't be you. You have to be you. You don't always have to mind your P's and Q's. I dropped MF'er on a video and didn't even know it until people were inboxing me and they're like, I love you. And I'm like, oh crap. Like, I didn't mean to do that, you know. Be you, have fun with it, but recognize that what everybody is sharing and what we're teaching you are just ideas to help you put together what works for you. I am a firm believer that you have to have a little bit of balance of everything, just like you. I personally love belly to belly. I love having a local team. I love going to wrap parties. It's a way to walk in and make $200 in an hour. It's a way to sneeze and make a ruby. It's the easiest way to build your team and promote the fastest for me if you're getting out there. But at the same time, there are some people who can leverage social media really, really well. And if that's what's working for you, you've got to recognize, okay, this is working and this isn't. And you can't just like stop social media, because eventually we're going to be one of those things where people start Googling and you want them to find you. You want long-term success. So don't just think about what's working now. Be smart enough to look and say, okay, like for me, it took me 6 months to get a loyal customer order from my Facebook. Everything else was belly to belly.
Right.
So naturally, Lisa, we raise people that way too, because that's how we are.
You know how older people, or when you get set in your ways, it's hard to go the other way. I think I'm so set in my ways with belly to belly that I'm like, get out there. You have to get out there. Social media is not always going to be, but you know what? You are right. But I think this is the question that you would want to ask yourself right now. With it being our busiest months, if you are not good at social media, I do not think this is the time to learn it. I think you need to get out there, blitz your heart out, belly to belly, talk to as many people as you can. And of course, start building the social media up by posting 3 times a day on Facebook and following the rules and the simple things that you do know how to do. But I just feel like if you're, like you said, you're going to find your God-given talent in this business and what you're doing that's right. Once you find that niche, keep doing it. You know,
it's all encompassing. Like there's no better way to keep track of your network than Facebook. And when I'm out and about, I have my shirt on, I have my gear on, I have my hat on. I'm still repping the logo everywhere that I can. And if I'm not, I'm out there going, okay, today I'm walking in and I'm making some Facebook friends. Like I've been kind of stealthy lately because I'm new to the area. I don't want to just come in guns a-blazing. Right. And just wearing like normal people clothes, which is really weird. But my intention is to still leave with new Facebook friends. And I find any excuse, like it's pretty funny. I was at a one team and Pam was there and I was sitting down with like Chase and they're like, how do you make a Facebook friend everywhere you go? And I'm like, just watch. Like you can literally try anything if you have the confidence to do it. Right. Our server had been super cool. And she walked over to the table and I said, I'm trying to prove a point here. Are you on Facebook? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, can we be friends? And she's like, okay. And I literally handed her my phone. She added herself. I took a screenshot, put my phone down. She walked away. She comes back and I just looked at him. I'm like, see, like it's that easy. You don't even have to have a reason to be Facebook friends with someone. I'll have one too many drinks and be like, let's be Facebook friends, like with everyone. Listen
to the point though. Everybody wants a friend on Facebook. See, they're not like us. If you're not in a home-based business, you don't have 50 requests coming from other people's team. It's cool. I remember when I started my Facebook, if someone wanted to be my friend, I was like, yeah, I'll add you. I got a new friend on Facebook. I mean, yeah, that's the point in it. And I like what you said. You don't, and I know how you do it because I watched you. You don't necessarily even talk about it works at all. You just
having so much fun
so they can start seeing your stuff. That's where it starts. See, now I'm doing a lot more on social media, but it also took me 3 years of adding people to get to the point where I'm starting to get stuff off of Facebook because I don't do Instagram. I don't even understand it. I wish I did, but I don't. But it takes a while. So I feel like you have to be out there blitzing in any way. You don't even have to mention the business. Blitzing to me is making a connection with another person about anything and getting their information.
Mm-hmm. I'm all encompassing. I've got my blitz cards in my bag. I'm out making Facebook friends. I'm still blitzing. I'm still dropping off those cards. I'm still offering to wrap people on the spot. You know, I'm still asking for wrap parties. I'm still doing events. I'm doing everything. Does every event hit? No, but I'm going to keep trying until I find, you know, a couple that do. I've signed 3 distributors at a $25 craft show before. Like, events are worth doing. You get yourself out there. And if I walk into an event, honestly, my favorite part of it is to walk around and make friends with all of the other vendors because they're doing every event in the area. And here it goes. Like, you want to see how far your Facebook relationships can go. The next time you stop and get coffee, you know, that little table with all the business cards, go and pick 3 that just stick out to you, that give you that juju. And you're like, grab those 3. Doesn't matter what they do or anything. Don't try to be strategic and only talk to massage therapists. It'll backfire. And go home and say, hey, Lisa, oh my gosh, I found your card at Panera. I'm an entrepreneur in the area also. Like, where else do you drop your cards off? I'll totally send somebody your way if, you know, I find anyone who's looking to re-roof their house or whatever it is. And I just make that contact and offer that value with no question. And I try to do that a couple of times a week because now I'm building relationships with people who are already in business, who take themselves serious enough to put their business cards out around the city. And I've offered them something and they don't know why. So
That's a good one for you, Sarah. That I love. In fact, I'm going to go find a piece of paper to write it down right now so I can mention it on a call and don't forget it, because you know how that goes. You hear something and then you forget to mention it. But you just moved. There's so many people that just got started. They live in a new area. They're like, how do I blah, blah, blah. Do you do BNI groups? Are you getting into a group? Are you trying to find something? Like, what is your like game plan for the future to meet people? Or are you just going to live life? And
well, right now I'm really putting the emphasis on fun because I've taken myself pretty seriously and my business pretty seriously for the past 5 years. So I really want to make sure that this year I'm having extra fun because I find that the more fun I'm having, people notice it. Like Josh and I are just out and about. Like we went to Daiquiri Deck and we took one of our friends who was from out of town and, you know, we were like, yeah, extra floaters. We're taking pictures of the tourists because now we're locals. So we feel awesome. You know, we're like, let us take your picture. And everybody wants to know, like, what do you do? Like you're here, like, what do you do? Because they just expect us to be retired or whatever. So I'm out there having fun, but I'm being really intentional too. I don't like BNI. I'll just flat out say that. Some people have had great success, and I'm sure will argue with me on that. It is a way to go and make business relationships and to establish yourself in a serious position. So if I had been in one in Toledo, but I went in knowing that we were moving to Florida and knowing that I wasn't there to build relationships long term. I was there because I wanted to see if I could milk some loyal customers or hopefully rat parties out of their network. And I found that you can go to things like Toastmasters, young entrepreneurs. Out here, that's what I'm looking for is the young entrepreneurs because there's a lot of older people and that's great, but I just relate better to people my age bracket. So young entrepreneurs, but then I'm also scouring for events right now. Then it goes as far like every day, probably 3 times a week, Josh and I have something to do. We're either going to a farmer's market, we're going to a foodie meetup, which we're not right now because of Whole30. But I love when we go to the foodie stuff. You know, even if we just go to the museum, like we're going with the intention to network always. Like we even joke that date night, there's no networking. And it always happens that the person sitting next to us is super cool. And I like look at him and like give him the eye. Like there was one time where we're sitting there and she's literally talking about getting a pay decrease because of a comment card that somebody filled out. And I'm hearing this as I'm like eating chips and salsa, like looking at him like, I have to say something. I can't sit here and not say something. We have the answer. And so I just operate from it is everywhere. If I'm going to the farmer's market, I'm going with the intention to make friends on Facebook with those people and the vendors at the farmer's market. And I'm going like interested in their services, I guess, while still repping my product, but I'm just not too needy. I'm focused on making friends. And if I can help you, then awesome. If not, then I want to be friends with your friends. You know?
Right. And referrals. I've really been concentrating on referrals lately. It's something I never did in the first 5 years of my business. I always concentrated on that person, never really thought beyond that. How do you go about getting referrals from people? Maybe they aren't interested or putting it out there.
I'm pretty blatant. Like right now, I'm glad you asked that because I'm dropping the hammer. Like something big is coming for conference and it's already here. Like we have to stop saying something big is coming because it's already here. Like it's happening. We're in the year. It's right now. Everything that we do counts. Everything. You want to go to Dash? You better be getting your booty to work right now. You want to double that paycheck? Run, sister, run. Like it's serious time. So I'm going through my entire Facebook lineup and I just had my assistant go through and delete all of like the inactive profiles and things like that that are hanging out. So I trimmed the fat from my Facebook And now I'm going through and I'm messaging every single person who is not with It Works. And I'm going through Barb Hauser's 5 questions like, hey, you know, it's been a long time. I introduce myself, maybe start some small talk, and then I'm just going to get right to it and say,
hold up 1 second. Barb Hauser's 5 questions.
yeah, so she went diamond in 9 days.
Yes, it was something ridiculous. So what are her 5 questions? I don't even know these. How do I not know these?
There's a video on YouTube. It's Diamond in 9 Days, and she talks about them on there. I think Allison Chastain was the one that recorded it. And it's like, are you interested in making extra money? You know, in your own words. You don't have to be so whatever. Are you interested in making extra money? If they say no, are you interested in getting healthier or losing weight after, you know, for the year? Do you have any goals, body goals I could help with, or health goals? If they say no, do you know anyone who is or who's looking to make some money? They say no. Would you be willing to host a wrap party? Or do you have any friends that you think would be a good fit for me? If they say no, then the 5th one is, would it be okay if I tag you in a status when we drop this promotion that's going to be coming up? And most of the time, Barb says that they'll say yes, you know, by the 2nd or 3rd time, because they're saying no to you so many times that by the time you ask for a referral or a tag, they're like, sure, fine, I can give you a referral. Go talk to Susie. Ah! You know?
Out of my face with all these questions.
Yeah. And so I'm just going through,
because I think there's a lot of people, what they come to me and say, and I'm sure you get it too, is what do I say? How do I approach them? How do I start the conversation? These 5 questions are perfect, because it doesn't even matter if it's somebody you're just acquaintances with. Why not? It doesn't matter if it's somebody you haven't talked to in 5 years. Message them on Facebook and say, hey, I've got a question for you. And then start with the 5 questions. I feel it's appropriate, don't you?
Yeah, for me, like I've just started saying, you know, hey, Susie, it's Sarah. I can't believe we've been friends on Facebook since 2007, you know, and we haven't had a conversation ever. Because, you know, there are those people on there, or those people you haven't talked to since high school. Like, I find something, like, I validate myself. We've been friends for this long. I can't believe I've never asked you or told you about It Works. I feel like I'm doing a really disservice. Like, I pretty much just say what comes on my heart. If I'm looking at their profile and they look perfect for it, I'm going to tell them, you look perfect, and I'm looking for people like you. Join my team. We're going to make a lot of money together. Like, I could just flat out tell you, you would be crazy if you don't.
What do you think about this, Sarah? Because lately what I've been doing is I've been going, you know how you can make a list on Facebook and you can put everyone in that list, like if you want a certain message just to go out to certain people. So what I've been trying to do is go through my Facebook and taking everybody that's not in It Works, putting them in a list. And when I do a business post and all that kind of stuff, I tag my list only. But what I've been trying to do is take about 5 to 10 people a day that I have not interacted with in a long time. And I've been trying to go to their Facebook and interact with them again. I'm trying to build up a relationship before I go just say something about the business, because that's when people feel sold. Do you do that, or do you just...
Yeah, especially right now, because we know with conference there's going to be something, right? There's going to be something. So the more conversations and the more relationships that you can have already going, the more relevant you can be on their timeline. So if you're commenting on their statuses, you're going to be popping up in their newsfeed, and that's good for you. So the more you can spread yourself with these conversations, like just for example, yesterday I sat down. I'm like, okay, I'm dropping the hammer, right? Got to build my network. Let's do this. I'm ready. Got to have these conversations, make new friends. So I'm in this group for Whole30 because I'm doing it right now. And there's like 15,000 people in there. And I can't come in and say, hey, I'm an It Works distributor, right? That would be tacky. And I can't just go in and whine about how I really want chocolate, because everyone's doing that. And I don't really have any good recipes to share. So I went in and I was like, wouldn't it, I'm a fun person. I like to have parties. Wouldn't it be cool if we could have a Whole30 water and veggie party? We could all get together, or maybe we could do a potluck and all, you know, this. And I'm like, I'm in Bradenton, Florida. Where are you? Drop, you know, your location below. Today, 375 people have commented on that post. And so what I'm doing is I first went through and picked anyone in Florida, because that was easy. I'm like, bing, yeah, what's up? Like, Florida friends. I like their comment and then add them. And at the same time, I know that that I'm going to be doing this. So I make sure the first thing they see isn't It Works when they come to my page. It's inspiring or uplifting or funny or personal. And so yesterday alone, I made like 23 new Facebook friends who I have something in common with, because that's why we're all in the group. And so now I'm just going through and I'm like, you know, what do you add to your coffee?
This is thinking golden. I'm writing it down because this is the thing. You found something you wanted to do. You got in a group and you started building relationships, and now you're going through and you're picking off people to request as friends that eventually you're either going to be able to approach them because you see a way in, or they're going to approach you because they're interested because they saw something you posted. Because it's all, at the end of the day, building relationships. I think a good, really, really good challenge for everybody watching this tonight, or anybody who watches this, find a group on Facebook that has nothing to do with business. Nothing. Like Sarah found Whole30, or find whatever you're interested in. There are groups all over Facebook, and just start building relationships. It's so huge, but I wonder, that's a great challenge for this group. I'm writing that down. I'm getting so many ideas on this, Sarah. Thank you.
Yeah. It's all encompassing. Everything. I keep the ball rolling all the time because you never know which one's going to stop rolling. So I try not to put my eggs in one basket. And it's been a problem before because I've tried too many things at once. But I've kind of started to master it where I'm like, okay, this works. This didn't. So, but I'm gonna try to tweak it a little bit. I'll try it again. If it doesn't work again, for me. Josh and I just had this conversation today because we had to be able to say this has worked for us and this has not. Like, we've built landing page after landing page after landing page because that's how some of the big dogs do it. Didn't work for me. I am on Instagram. I have followers. A lot of them are It Works people, but I've never really taken the same approach with Instagram that you have on Facebook. And that's how people are successful on Instagram, is they're taking that time and then they're sending that direct message. They're, following up, they're building a relationship, and then they're taking
like Instagram, you know how John Eric says like the hugs and all that? I feel like Instagram is the hug. And then you get them on Facebook, and that's the making love. I mean,
even like on my Pinterest board, if you have an awesome Pinterest board, I'm aware of all of this and how to connect with you on any platform that I can. So I would come, you can click on their little Facebook button from their Pinterest board, and I'd be like, Lisa, seriously, I didn't know anybody else out there had a Scott Disick Facebook board, like Pinterest board. I actually have mine hidden so that nobody can see it and judge me because it's ridiculous. We have to be friends, and people don't, very rarely do they get weirded out, regardless of how creepy I've gotten. And I've gotten pretty just pushing my limits a little,
Is it hard for you to give advice? Because I'm blue too. I'm not shy. It's not really hard for me to, if you told me to go walk up to somebody with a pair of underwear on my head and it was a dare, I would do it. I mean, I'm just not, I don't overthink it.
If it bothers me, I have to do it.
Right. I'm the same way.
That's the only reason I'm doing this Whole30, because when Stacy said she was doing it, Stacy Holwiger, she's like, I'm doing this, and look at, my before and after or whatever. The first thing I said to myself was I could never do that. No sugar, no alcohol, no this, no that, no that. I could never. And that's something No, that's a self-limiting belief, and I'm going to do it because I have to.
Prove it. To prove
it to myself. Yeah. So if it scares me or I'm unsure, there was a girl that was talking about diseases and the devil while we were out one time, and I could overhear her, and I was looking at Josh, and I'm like, I need to say something about our greens. It was on my heart. I had to say something about it. And I was like, she's going to think I'm crazy. He looked at me. He's like, so what if she does? And I was like, oh, yeah. This is crazy rap thing. We are crazy. Come on.
Because she's never going to see you again if she does think you're crazy, and you won't be a thought in her mind.
It ended up being the weirdest story ever because her roommate had found me on YouTube the night before. They were looking up how to make homemade body wraps and found me on YouTube. And she ended up giving her roommate my number, who called me. And while talking on the phone was like, wait, your voice. Wait, what's your last name again? And it was still Sarah Savage. So I was like, Sarah Savage. She's like, I was just watching your YouTube video last night. So it was a total like fate thing too. It was crazy because what are the odds? Like my gut instinct didn't want to blitz her.
When you get those people on your team, they're let's say they're a yellow, and they're kind of yellow that's quiet, not like you or I definitely think you're at an advantage when the fear of talking to someone is not in you. There is an advantage there. But how do you get somebody that you just know they're not going to do it? I mean, you think you can still be successful at this business?
You know, okay, so a lot of yellows, and they're, probably going to get mad at me for this. You lie to yourself like every day, every single day. Because if you were truly yellow, you would be able to recognize what you have your hands on and just how much it could help everybody out there. And so you would be able to get over yourself. And so if you're out there saying, well, I'm just yellow, I'm shy, and I just want to help people. Well, you're not doing any favors by sitting behind your laptop, playing some Minnie Mouse, acting like you don't have a voice. Get out there and tell people you want to help them. Get out there and get involved in the causes that you care about and build your network that way. Find what you're passionate for and go that route. Be genuine and sincere. Like yellows have the upper hand. I thank God that I'm blue yellow, because if I didn't have that yellow, I think I'd probably be red. Like at least blue and yellow make red, I think, right? So no, that's not true.
No, blue and red. No, blue and red make purple.
I went to art school, so I should know this. But yeah, purple. Well, I'm going to be purple because, if you're too red, you leave a trail of dead bodies and nobody wants to work with you. But reds have an upper hand because they also focus on what makes them money and stick into business. And that's where us yellows tend to get all, emotional and distracted and from doing what's actually really best for us. And the only way to give back to people that believe in you and support you is to go be the most successful you. So you think you're being selfish by going for something, but the truth is you're being selfish by giving it all away and by not taking what, is right in front of you. Because you could do more. If you're yellow, you could do more by being more successful. You could help more people than being red or than being green, because that's your heart. That's easy for you to do, to help someone. And so you just have to get obligated and you have to recognize that what you have is truly special. Like a lot of people take this for granted. They don't understand what you're a part of right now. Like this doesn't happen. Go back, look at all these other network marketing companies, what they're going through. PR thinks they're on top of the world because they acquired their third company that they bought. No, that just means nobody wants to buy your shit. So all the companies are going bankrupt and you can buy them all, but you can't polish a turd. It's still a crappy compensation plan. You know what I mean? Like it's still not residual income. It's still just
looks like you know what and smells like but you know what?
Mm-hmm. You just got to get it together, and you have to recognize, like, stop being selfish and hiding and playing small. You were given a voice for a reason. You were given a dream for a reason, and you were given a heart to serve for a reason. So find out how to do what your heart wants to do, but also bring it works into it. There's so many ways to give back. What
it reminds me of? When I have yellows ask me, do you think I can do this? Because I'm not you or Sarah or Cammie or, who I think of? Krista Pettengale.
Mm-hmm.
She is the most quiet, subdued, and she was one of the fastest ambassador diamonds. I guess what I want people to know is you got to find your niche, but she was still willing to get out there and tell people. You don't have to stand on a chair and scream.
It goes back to this new way that I've been teaching the color personality, or I really like the way that it had been taught to me. It was 1, 2, 3s, and 4s instead of red, yellow, green, and blue, and the 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so I truly believe that we can all channel that part of our personality. Of course, there's a dominant part of your personality, but just for a second, when you get scared and you want to blitz someone or you want to message someone online, just channel Lisa just for a second. Just channel me just for a second. What would she say? How, hear me in your head being like, you got this. Channel that part of your personality and just hit enter. because you're doing it with good intentions. You want to help somebody, and you shouldn't be afraid of just.
That's so funny you said that. I did that in the beginning of my business. I remember Cammie saying, just borrow my confidence. And so when I would go out to Blitz, even though I was making nothing, my first checks was $26. I went out and thought, if I was Cammie Dempsey making $60,000 a month, how would I approach people? What would I say? How would I act? And that is the day I decided I would never beg anybody to be in my business or look desperate, because you wouldn't act desperate. You would look like, and I even had a little bit of an attitude back then. Well, look, I'm not going to beg you to join me. So if you decide to change your mind, you know where to find me, And I think that makes people want it more when you don't look so whatever. But borrow people's confidence. We all have yellow, we all have red, we all have blue. Yeah, we got a dominant side. But, I'm sensitive sometimes, just not in front of folks. And, and I love money. I mean, I'm definitely red, blue like you. But at the end of the day, you can be whoever you want to be. And what I've noticed about this business is, as people grow and confidence grows, and as the check grows and as the rank grows, they become different. Every time somebody starts being a blue, you're like, what the hell? You're a blue. You were always a blue. It's like.
And I'm a firm believer too that confidence comes by doing, not by learning. That's where I really see greens struggle, because they're naturally inclined to just want to learn. But it doesn't matter how much you know if you don't go out and do anything with it. I mean, what good is that beautiful brain if you don't put it to work for you and, go to work? That's where it really comes down to.
And
you just have to focus on being you. Like, don't try to be anyone else. Focus on being the most authentic version of you that you can be, and the best version of you that you can be, and be vulnerable and share that with people. Like, I share my struggles openly because that's how people relate to me. If I were just like, every day I'm doing personal development and I wake up and life is freaking awesome 99% of the time, like, they're like, we don't like you. I actually had somebody tell me they unfriended me because I traveled too much. I don't like that. Sorry, I should complain more. So I just try to be more vulnerable and share the struggles and the things that people can relate to me with. So if you're a yellow, you can say, my heart hurts for people like this because I know that I can help them. Like, just be you. Just find a way to make it work for you.
Right. I agree. I think that I've gotten a ton of tips. Is there anything that you want to say to the group of people on here tonight? Most people in this group, they're not diamonds yet. We do have a few diamonds. We've got some diamonds and doubles that lost rank and they're trying to get it back. But for the most part, people are pretty new. Some of them have been stuck at a level for 2 years, maybe ruby, or never got past emerald. Some of them are just jumping back in because of this program. They're like hoping that this can be their, they're ready to stop making excuses. They're out there doing it. With conference coming and everything, do you have some advice? Just some good advice, solid advice.
If you haven't done it already and you've been in this business, this isn't so much for the newbies, or maybe it is, but you have to forgive yourself. Like, if you've lost a rank or you didn't hit the goal that you wanted to hit last year, you're still here, and that's what really counts. Like, forgive yourself and let go of the guilt monkey and the I shoulda, I woulda, I coulda. None of that matters. What matters is today, and it just so happens that you're going into the most exciting year with It Works Global. So you know what? It's not too late. It's actually the perfect time to get your shit together. And for those of you who are new, just don't get distracted. Keep those blinders on. Stay focused forward on what's actually ahead of you, because if you just keep plugging away, I promise you, when I look in my backyard and I see my pool, my waterfall, and my tiki hut, and I'm enjoying my coffee and the sunshine, and I'm waking up to my morning the way that I want it to be, and I'm doing what I want throughout the day. Every single day, the one thing that I say is, I'm so thankful I worked so hard. I'm so thankful that I kept pushing, that I didn't stop, because it was all worth it. It seems like the days are long, but now that all these years have gone by, like, it was so short. it's such a short amount of time to live the life that you want, to be able to have your dreams come true. Like, I have to really stretch myself and think like a crazy person to add to my dream board nowadays, because it works as taking care of every need in our life that we could ever want. Everything that we want now is achievable. And it's a whole different way of living. It's an alternate reality.
I feel guilty at this point, because when you first make a dream board, it's kind of like things that you have to have. The second dream board, you actually start putting some things on there that you don't really need. The third dream board, everything on there you don't need at all. Mm-hmm. And by the time you're done with that one, you're like, now I just feel guilty. Like,
I don't carry the guilt anymore, because I really come to peace with it. It was hard at first when I woke up and didn't feel like I deserved that paycheck. I struggled with self-worth when I first started, and then I had a lot of success, and I struggled with self-worth when I hit that peak, that mountain where I was just like, well, I don't need anymore. But then I realized, there's a dream on my heart. It's a really big one. Nobody needs that kind of money. But I'm a very empathetic, and I want to help in so many places. And I have such a huge heart that I know I'm supposed to have this. And I've gotten to that point where on the dream board, it used to be material things, and now it's like I want to be able to give back 30% of all of our income, which is a gratuitous amount of money, to, charities and events and this, and like, let me know which one you want. And I want to be able to pay off my parents' mortgage, and I want to be able to help my best friend adopt a child. Like, these things that would make a difference, not just in my life, but in my friends, in my community, in the world around me. That all becomes possible with It Works. And so just recognize how special of a time this really is, and how you have every right to be so excited. And it's normal if you're out there and you feel like a crazy person, because people don't live in this world of positivity and excitement, and like everything is a miracle. Everything's either a miracle or nothing is. And if you're in that place where nothing is a miracle, that is a terrible existence. That is not living. That's not why you were put here. Everything is a miracle. And so I think that's why this business has been so much easier for me lately too, is everybody who crosses my path, I've already been praying for that for months. And so when you do, I take that as an obligation to tell you who I am, what I have, and how I can help you if you're interested. And so it's my best advice to you is to just run like the wind right now. Network, set yourself up, plan those events, start planning into the summer, because you want to have those things like the events booked. You want to have things on your schedule, like networking events that you can go to, farmers markets, truck rallies, whatever it is in your city that's like the thing to go to and make friends, that are also fun things that you want to do. Like, that's fun. Take your family and go, but go with the intention to make friends, whether it's the chick behind the concession line, filling your popcorn, or it's your waiter at the table, or it's the people sitting next to you. Like, go and make friends and just have fun with this, because when that hammer drops that first weekend in February, like, I might fall over this year. It's going to be insane.
It's going to be different than anything that they've ever done before, or you're not sure? Do you think it might be double goods, or you got an inclination in there?
I have one for us, that would benefit us. But for distributor, to presidential, I still don't know. I do know there's a new product coming, like, for sure, because I go to the same lash lady that Pam does, and she was like, I heard about the new product, and I was like, the what? And she's like, oh, that didn't happen yet. And I was like, the one in February? She's like, yeah, I'm not supposed to say anything. I was like, you're secret.
You just said lashes.
Yeah.
Does it have anything to do with lashes?
No. These are glued on, sister. Like, they're lash extensions. That me and Pam. I was like, Pam. Yeah.
So a new product.
Something for us.
Something for us. Okay. And then something big.
My mind goes crazy, like with the tailgate. I'm like, did he finally buy a football team? Like, my mind goes nuts. But what I do know is it's definitely bigger than it's ever been. Like, my first conference, you guys, 500 people. This year, 20,000 people in two locations. Like, we're taking over this city, and it's incredible because regardless of what they announce, even if they were to bring back things that we have already had, the momentum that we have going into this year, like Mark made a comment, Kyler had shared it with us at the one team. He was like, Walmart's got nothing on us. Like, he didn't even hesitate. He just said it like he had already made that up in his mind. And just to put it into perspective, like, Walmart makes more money than the bottom 40% of the population. So they make more than, if that makes sense.
No,
the whole bottom 40% of the population, all the money that they make, Walmart makes more than that. And Mark was like, psh, they got nothing. And I just see his.
You know what the wake up call for me, and I know you were there when Pam said it. When Pam, and you and I weren't even that high up yet. When she had said that there will be people in this company, she told a story about how she went around and wrote on napkins everybody's amount of money. You remember that? And she had wrote on, I think Debbie Sassik's, like 2.3 million a month. That's where she would end up. And I thought that was a joke because at that time I think I was at $5,000 a month. Now that I'm up at Ambassador Diamond Pay, I'm like, okay, this could really happen. I mean, that's when you really start believing stupid money's possible, because this was stupid money. But stupid is stupider. That's just dumb money.
I flinch. I don't even flinch now at what was inconceivable to me. Like, Josh came in, he's like, babe, here's our check. Like, yeah. And I'm like, thank you. Okay,
yeah, it's not.
But then I'm like, all right, back to work. And he's like, that's it? Like, I'm grateful, but like, I've accepted this already.
It's so funny because I thought about that. It got to the point where I look at my check, the first few checks that were crazy. I remember where I was with each pay increase. I was in the buckle when I got my $42,000 paycheck and started crying, and we signed the lady at the buckle. Like,
yeah.
What? And I'm showing her my check, and she's like, I'm in. It was like yes. I remember those things, but now when I see my check, it's not that I'm not grateful. It's that my mind is so focused on who I'm going to get there with me. It's a real true thing. Like, I'm like, I don't care about my check. I'm like, what was yours? Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, it was good. And then who's promote? And your whole vision goes to another place. But I wanted to, before I forget this, I want to say one thing, and then I want you to end us out with something. But you had mentioned there's nothing like Rap Cash. And I truly believe last year, with people not concentrating on parties in any way, shape, or form, those new distributors were quitting quicker because they didn't have money in their pockets. One of our biggest things, I think, with It Works is the fact that you get money in your pocket right now. If you need to go pay a bill, go sell 4 wraps. If you need to go pay your electric bill, go sell 8 wraps. You don't even have to wait for a paycheck or bonuses. I think people get away from that. And I think it's super important to remember there's a whole nother side to this business that y'all aren't working, especially with the new distributor coming in. You're losing them because they're saying, oh, I'm not seeing money right away. Or because to them, when you don't see it, you're not looking at what's coming in 2 months. Because really, when you first start, you really don't see that goodness for 2 months. So you feel like you're doing all the right things and you're spending 2 auto ships at that point and nothing's coming back.
I've got people making $2,000 a month in Rap Cash. You know what I mean? Like, that's significant money. And not only that, but they're making the Rap Cash. They're building their residual income because they're signing loyal customers. They're launching their new distributors and getting them qualified legs at the beginning of the month so that it's easier to promote at the end of the month. They're booking more rap parties from those rap parties. They're getting referrals on the spot from the people who attend. Like, it is the easiest way to build your business. And I do love social media, and I think if it's working for you, and even if it's not, to keep trying and keep trying things differently, but you have to be responsible and recognize you want as many streams of things coming into you as possible. So 4 rap parties a month.
Point is, if you're good at social media, don't assume the person you just signed is.
No, we're coming over to your house. We're launching. Let's go.
Right. We got to launch. You guys got to get back to launching, because just because you're good at it, they might not be. You need to introduce them to the avenues of really the basis of what the company has always been. Is step 1 is get a wrap party booked. It's always been part of step one. Get that launch going to sell those wraps. And I think that's why our system works so good, is because we're making sure you're getting customers right away. You're getting the wrap on people right away. People are learning, they're growing. So this is my last thing I wanted to ask you, because I know you agree with me. Self-development's huge. We've both come a long way. And I don't think you really, at least I didn't know how to self-develop. I didn't even know what that was. I went to work, made money, came home, went to bed. I didn't do any kind of reading or anything. Take me through your day, because at our level, we start getting pretty intentional about some of the things that we do to keep our minds right. I know for me, like if I'm going, I've got black diamond written places taped on my refrigerator, you know, I'll write my goals down places where I know I looked often. I have a gratitude list I look over in the morning that's in a notebook. Are there some things that you do every day to kind of keep your mind right?
Yeah, every day. I mean, we started the Miracle Morning, which is an incredible audible if you want to listen to it. It's really inspiring. And so, you know, we wake up early. It's not always been that way, but we realize now that those early morning hours are the best times to really start growing your business, because you're developing yourself. And by the time that everyone's waking up, you've already done your first post on Facebook, so they're seeing it. And so we wake up at 7:30. That first hour is spent doing personal development. Like I wake up, I go to the bathroom. In my bathroom, literally, I have my Joel Olsen I Declare. I have, the cats are just killing me. Hold on. I have I Declare, and I have
Don't forget after you're done with this.
the Secret Daily Teachings. It's like a little calendar. So I do my positive affirmation while I'm sitting there peeing, and I read my declaration while I'm sitting there. And then I walk out, I make some coffee. All the while I have Audible in my headphones. And right now I'm listening to Intentional Living by John Maxwell. And then I make my breakfast.
That's what we just got, isn't it?
Yeah, from Mark. So I'm just listening.
Even freaking open that yet, because I've been so busy. Do you feel like your head's going to spin off right now?
Yeah, but that's why we started waking up earlier and just being really intentional, because waking up at 9 o'clock in the morning I'm starting out already behind. You know, by the time I'm ready to go, it's 10 o'clock and I'm like, ah! So then I make my coffee, make some breakfast. Josh and I go on a walk. We get some exercise in. I come back usually, and it depends. Like Mondays, I have a leadership call. Anytime else during the week, I'm getting on the phone with prospects throughout the day, hitting some errands, blitzing while I'm out. While I get ready in the morning and I'm putting my makeup on, I'm always listening to a book on Audible. Right now, Pam gave me You Are a Badass for Christmas. So I'm listening to that my mid-afternoon, because it gets me geared up and ready to go and get on the phone and, you know, share. I've got different hours. Like I literally have my days broken down, and it's not been like this always. I've been trying to install a lot of new habits this year specifically, because discipline is the one thing that I've struggled with recently. And I need it. We need it in this business. We have to be intentional to get to where we want to go. And I want to take intentional action steps to get to Black Diamond. So I'm doing things different, doing what I previously wasn't willing to do. I wanted to sleep till 10. I wanted to be up late. Now it's kind of changing a little bit, you know?
I love it. I think it's so important that even if you're not finding time to do it, even if it's at night before bed, or, I mean, I know a lot of people are still working a job and they've got kids, and you're not at a place where we are that you're doing this full time. I get that. But
it's still so important. If you don't fill your bucket, you are empty and you are useless. You are a danger to your team. You're a danger to the people around you. You're a danger to your relationships. You're a danger to yourself, because that's when we start getting really mean. When we're feeling tired and worn out and empty, uninspired and hopeless. That's the dark side. And we don't live there anymore. You live in the light. You're with It Works. It's time to see the silver lining. And sometimes that takes being intentional. So when you're doing personal development, don't just fly off the handle at a whim. Like, pick 3 things. This year for me, my one thing is communication. And I want to learn how to communicate with my team, my husband, myself, and writing and speaking. Communication is a big one. So all the books that I'm listening to are helping me get disciplined, organized, and communicate. That's my year. that, and instead of being like, I'm going to listen to, like, if you're new, you need to get the first year in network marketing, and you need to recognize 7 skills that I need to do. I already know how to network. I don't need to learn how to do that. Maybe you do, and that's what you make this year about. I'm going to learn how to network. Start with how to win friends and influence people. Maybe you need to learn how to have more confidence. So you're going to need to start doing things that get out of your comfort zone. Go take a yoga class. Go, whatever it is. Intentionally find ways to build your confidence level. Get up and go to Toastmasters. Go speak in front of people. I don't need that anymore. So I don't have to do that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, fine tune the skills that you need and go.
The first year, a lot of people don't even understand what they're in, what residual income is, what multi-level marketing is. That's part of self-developing, figuring out what exactly it is you're doing now. What
Right.
is this whole thing?
Allow yourself the time to train.
What I did for the first year is I read everything I could get my hands on about our industry. I wanted to understand what was this thing. And then year 2 kind of switched to personal things. Like, now I wanted to be a better leader, leadership things. And for me, I'm the same way. This year, every book I'm asking about is really about communication. I'm trying, like, I just picked one up the other day about, and I haven't had a chance to even open it yet, but I was at Barnes and Noble's picking my daughter up a book, and I saw this book, and it was on how 10 steps to writing a book, basically.
Yeah.
So I got one of those because I want to know, like, okay, how does this whole
You know what you need? You need to get the Audible. It's called The Creative Compass. It's really good for writing and for actually, like, mapping out your ideas and being able to put them together. And so, but this also, we have to go back and end with, don't get too caught up just learning. Focus on the skills that you need to do, but that's busy work. Like, when you talk to Jade Hooper, she's like, that's busy work. But then for me, it's also pays off in the long run. Who do you want to be this season?
Jade Hooper, she might not need that, but she also hasn't hit a point in her business yet where she's hit a dull spot. I've hit those, and self-development's gotten me through. So
yeah. Sometimes, if you're talking to people and it's just still not working, we've got to be responsible enough to look in the mirror and go, it's me. Right? Either I'm putting out bad juju, or I'm spewing out of the mouth, just word vomiting. Like, okay, so I need to work on my communication. I need to work on recruiting. And there are tons of things out there. You don't have to spend money to do personal development. You can get into Google. Like, whenever I get stuck, I know that I'm one aha moment away from the next level. Right. Every time I've gotten past this speed bump, it's like a reward because I just get farther. I make more money. I become better. I'm happier. And it's important to take that time, but just don't get caught up in that thinking that you have
all you're doing is studying and reading and self-developing and looking up the ingredients of the wrap. And then, some people think that they're working, like you said, with busy work because they're putting so much time in, but yet then they come to me in a year and go, well, nothing happened. Well, nothing happened because you learned everything, but you applied none of it. So It's important to apply. But I read somewhere once, if you know you're doing it right, if you're following the steps to success, if you truly can look in the mirror and know that you are blitzing at least 10 people a day, that you are posting on social media, that you are all the things that you're supposed to be doing to grow this business, if you can truly look in the mirror and say that that is the case, which 99% of the time it's not when somebody's business isn't growing, then it's something you're doing. Mm-hmm. It's always something you're doing, whether it's attitude, something you need to change about yourself.
Coming off needy, like being all about you. That's exactly that a mile away.
It's usually a personality flaw, where think about your personality color and what are the downfalls of that personality color, and bingo.
And then and then forgive yourself and get over it. Like, that's the beautiful thing. I was not this person 5 years ago. I didn't have these words. I couldn't speak to you the way that I can today. This has all come from me learning and growing through some really personal obstacles, whether it be self-worth, self-belief, taking action, needing to be disciplined. Like you guys just heard me say, I'm working on discipline this year. I'm working on being congruent, doing what I say I'm going to do. I always have good intentions, but a lot of times I'm not acting intentionally, if that makes sense. So
it makes me, girlfriend.
Yeah, there's not much fun here in the office. It's we
want to see it before we go. I would like to see it anyways. I love looking at people's offices and stuff.
We have the cute little wall back here. That's the painting Josh got done of me for the wedding. And
I love that painting,
got
Sarah.
those done in the down in Australia at this place. They're super cool. Alona dropped together in Ocean. Cynthia, one of my girls, made me that. Go the extra mile. It's never crowded. Believe it is so it can be so until it is so. Jess Taylor made me that. So,
Oh, I love that.
something I always say. And then I've got my little product closet right there. A little dream box and stuff. And this is my favorite. I have my dream board over here. I'm working on it now, so that's why it's there. But I've got my like little homage to It Works. I've got the first Team Toledo Spirit magazine. It said Team Toledo taking it to the top. Our dash picture, the seatbelt, like just all of my what do you call it? Paraphernalia, I guess. It Works paraphernalia. Coconut monkey. I had a couple too many of those on the cruise.
Me
And it goes all the way up. So, you know.
right now. Those things.
I love this too. Do what you love what you do.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's dark here because it's nighttime, so I can't show you my view, but it's decent. It's decent.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for taking time out, because I know if you were anything like me, girl, you have not slept a lot. So,
You know, I'm excited. I keep telling my grandma, she's like, "You're so busy," and I'm like, "I'm choosing to be busy right now." I'm like, I don't have to do anything because I could technically be set for the rest of my life, but I really have huge dreams. And, you know, I started this business when I was 24 years old. My goal was to make $1 million before I was 30. I haven't gotten the email about Millionaires Club, but if I didn't get it this year, then I'm like right there. So I'll check that one off, whether they recognize it or not. And now I'm like, man, you know, I really would like to be like multi-millionaire before I'm 40. So let's go. Like, even if you look at it in that retrospect, how long, like 4 years for success isn't very long. People aren't willing to put in 4 years to be successful, but they'll spend 40 years being broke.
right.
I'm looking at it as I've given it 6 years and I'm willing to double my effort for the next 6 years, but I'm going to work smarter, not harder, because I've learned a lot of the things that I don't have to do, the things that I choose to do that are distractions, and the things that I need to do because I've gone through the hoops long enough to know now.
Right.
So just get it done, you guys. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for having me.
I'm just super. Well, now we know how it works. We could do more of these or something.
Yeah.
Woo! 15 minutes to get you on with me because neither one of us are technically savvy, but hey, we did it.
You know, it was funny watching you get my text messages. You're just sitting there. But yeah, thanks you guys. And I just go have an awesome rest of the month. Set it up strong for January. Just get out there, plant those seeds. Everything you do this month is going to pay you back next month. That's for sure.
Thanks, Sarah. You guys, thank you guys for hopping on. And I hope you liked your little prize for winning because I know.
Congratulations. High five.
Notes. Lots of notes.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it, Sarah. I got some ideas. Thank you. And everybody else, we have an online wrap party in 30 minutes. So send out your reminders.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.